Hey everyone, I wanted to talk about cooling down. I have some people who have to work third shift. I also have a lot of parents who have to take care of their kids, take care of the bills, do their chores, and then try to get some sleep. So in this Advent where I ask my patients to try to practice a healthy lifestyle, part of that requires exercise or activity of some sort. And that usually brings on a fight or flight kind of response. Blood pressure goes high, heart rate gets a little faster, respiratory rate gets faster. So when you turn that response on, your adrenal cortex starts to secrete adrenaline and cortisol, epinephrine, norepinephrine. When it does that, you have a good workout. You can push massive weight, you can run really quick, you can take advantage of getting the heart rate going. Now, the problem is when you do this right before you get to sleep, that can affect your brain trying to go into what's considered slow wave. When you're listening to me, when you're in a class trying to learn, your brain is firing off at fast wave or beta wave. And when you're at peace, when you're about to nod off, when you're dreaming, it goes into slow wave, alpha, theta, delta, and then eventually REM, almost like a sleep paralysis. But the problem would be if you are not well versed with a mindful practice, and then you just exercise, turn on the stress response, finish exercise, get home, get to sleep, or have a meal and then get to sleep, you might be exhausted, you might be able to close your eyes, you might be able to go into a state of unconsciousness, but the brain will still be firing off because it has those hormones around. So the problem is, if you have no mindful practice, meditative practice, then sometimes it's very hard to go from, for the brain at least, to go from exercise to sleep efficiently. And sleep is, or at least a restorative sleep, is based on at the least 6 to 7 hours of sleep. Just because it takes a human brain about that amount of time to go through a couple sleep cycles. And you have to go through sleep cycles in order to get to REM. And that's when the brain has found its refreshed state. Kind of like the adrenal gland. It secretes adrenaline and cortisol during the height of your day, which is at the start of your day. And sometimes when it doesn't have enough around, or it's been burned out, secreted all night long, which it shouldn't be doing, because you're supposed to be at sleep and in peace. Well, when it comes to turning on the adrenals in the morning, you got nothing. So you wake up totally unrefreshed, you're tired all day long, you're sleepy all day long, then you're kind of in a mini stress response at night because you didn't get any sleep in the morning. So it's kind of screwed up. The gland doesn't have enough to fire off, enough reserve. Kind of like a rechargeable battery. For those of you who are baby boomers, my lips are frozen. For those of you who are baby boomers and remember how to play cassette tape with batteries, if the batteries are not charged properly, the cassette tape will still play, but man, cassette tape will not play properly. You won't be able to turn the volume up. It won't function the way it's supposed to at its maximum. Same thing with sleep. If the sleep is poor, if the stress response has just been turned on, and if you have no parasympathetic or relaxation response, mindful practice, then you just have to deal with waiting for the stress response to kind of wean itself down. So, if you have no choice and you have to exercise at night, my suggestion is you try to develop a relaxation practice towards the end of your workout. So if you can finish up with your cardio or your weight training routine and then perhaps spend 10 to 15 minutes doing deep breathing, doing slow stretches, a couple yoga poses, Tai Chi breath exercise, slow movement, getting outside and walking or cooling down, like what I'm doing now. That just might be enough to turn on the parasympathetic response, so that hopefully you'll negate the stress response. I don't think you can turn one on and turn the other off. I think if you turn one on and it's dominant, then your body feels the dominant hormone. So for those of us who meditate or have a mantra or practice TCM, then you'll be able to feel that. But for people who don't do that, you just have to essentially wait for the stress response to turn down, wind down, and that might take a little bit of time. So again, even if you're getting to sleep, closing your eyes, and you're just going unconscious from exhaustion, that does not mean that the brain gets its rest. And what we need for feeling restored, refreshed, is brain rest. And that's why I say it's important to cool down as far as your exercise, or if you're not exercising, you're just trying to get some sleep, power down. If you do things that stimulate the eyes, the nose, the ears, the mouth, the skin to wake up, then it's not going to want to go to sleep. So if you can practice calming the five senses, turning off your screens, not eating a huge meal, putting earplugs in to quiet down the noise, putting a mask on so you don't see the light from the hallway, making the room a little cool. All those things will be helpful for getting into that cocoon state at night, so that even if it's just 6 hours, that's a minimum, truthfully. It should be 8, but who has that luxury, right? Even if it's just a minimum of 6 hours, if you can get into this cocoon state, because the brain's used to it, the body's used to it, the nose is used to it, the eyes, the ears, if everything, all the five senses are used to that state, then it might be easier to drop into it. Even if you finish a heavy workout, or you just finished an argument, or you have a presentation or a test the next day. Sometimes if you just have a habit of developing this cocoon by powering down, it'll be a little easier for the brain to take advantage of it and drop straight into sleep. So the only way to do it is to practice. Sometimes you can apply a couple different techniques. If it doesn't work, then you change the techniques, get more guidance. Hopefully one way or another, if you keep on chipping away at developing a nice power down, cool down state of mind at night, it'll be much easier in the long run. But all has to begin with your attempts at least trying to find what works for you. Hopefully this helps get you to that cool and refreshed state. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to me for weekly words of wisdom.